Students, I welcome you to this video lesson that is a part of the e-learning initiative, and we are discussing the unit first, and in the unit first we have started with Python functions. So in functions, in the previous videos of the functions, we have discussed the basics of functions and how to define a function and how to call a function. Okay, we have discussed it with day-to-day examples. If you have not gone through those videos, I request you to first go through those videos, then only you will be able to get the gist of this lesson. So this lesson is very important lesson because it will be dealing with the parameters and its types. We have already discussed the parameters and arguments in the previous video. Now we will be discussing the parameters and its types. Okay, let's begin. So a function call must provide all the required values by the function definition. Okay, so if a function requires 3 values to operate, it must be provided 3 values. A function for addition of 2 numbers requires 2 values, so it must be provided with 2 values when we will call it. Otherwise it will generate error. It will say that insufficient number of parameters. In Python, 3 types of formal arguments are supported. These formal arguments and actual arguments have been discussed in the previous video. The values that are passed in the function call are called actual arguments, and the values that are mentioned in the function definitions or in which we catch the variables given by the function call are called formal parameters. Okay. So Python supports 3 types of formal arguments: positional argument, default argument, keyword argument. Another name to this keyword argument is named argument. Positional argument means where we give the values as per their position. Okay. So let's begin with positional argument. It's a very important topic because this question will be there in your exams also. Positional arguments, when the value to the function definition is provided position wise or order wise, which means that in the order in which you have named the variables, the same order you provide the values also. Okay. Here the values must be provided for all the parameters. If there are 3 parameters in a function, you should provide all the 3 values. Okay. The values of arguments are matched with parameters position wise. Okay. Depending upon the position, we match the parameter. Means the first value that you have provided in the function call will be matched with the first parameter that is in the function definition. The second with second, third with third. This is called positional argument. Okay. So in the example you are seeing that we have defined a function called process in which we have 3 variables a, b and c, and after that there is some functionality. I have not written that functionality, it can be anything, but we are just focusing on the arguments and parameters now. So we have 3 parameters a, b and c. These a, b, c are formal parameters. Okay. Now in a function call, suppose after writing the definition and in the top level statements we make a function call of this process. How we will call it? We will just name it process, and in brackets we will provide the 3 values. Suppose the values are 2, 5, 7. As we are using positional arguments, so what will happen? This 2 will be copied in A, 5 in B and 7 in C. Okay. How it will be copied? Because when you will call this process, a separate execution frame will be created. You have heard of execution frame in the previous video. A separate execution frame, that is separate memory space, is created for this execution, in which these 2, 5, 7, which are actual parameters, are passed and they become A, B, C in that execution frame. Here they are 2, 5, 7, and when they go to that, jump to that execution frame, they become A, B and C. 2 becomes A, 5 becomes B and 7 becomes C. Okay. So this is positional argument, where the position remains the same or the parameters are copied position wise. Okay. So with whatever the first value is, it will be copied in the first parameter. The second argument will be copied in the second parameter, and so on. Okay. So if you will provide a call to the process with 5 to 7, then 5 will become A, 2 will become B and 7 will become C. So this is positional argument. I think am I clear to you? Okay. So try to understand where we will match the position. It will be called positional arguments. Clear? Now we move to the second type, that is default arguments. You have heard about this word default. Default means the value that is predefined or it is given by default. Means if you do not provide any value, that value will be used. This is the meaning of default. Okay. So the arguments that have a pre-value, that are pre-valued, that are having some specific values that is provided in the beginning also, that is called default arguments. Here we can assign some previous values, that is default values, to the parameters during the time of function definition. Please note, we have to provide the value that we want at the time of function definition, and you know that the function definition is written at the beginning of the program Python. Okay. So these things should be clear in your mind. So if you want to provide some value to a parameter in the beginning or a default value, that value should be provided in the function definition. Function call will not take any default value. It will just name the values. Okay. The value of such parameters can be skipped during the process of providing argument values in a function call. It is a typical statement. You need to understand it in detail. Where we use default argument. Suppose in a project of class, we are entering school. We have made a project and we want, if the name of the school is not entered, it should be taken as Kendriya Vidyalaya. Okay. Please try to understand. If you are creating a project in which some name of school is to be entered, and you want that if that thing is skipped, it is not provided, then it should be taken as Kendriya Vidyalaya. Then that will be called as default value. And when you provide a value specially, then that value of that you have taken as Kendriya Vidyalaya will be overrated. Suppose you provide Navodaya Vidyalaya, then your previous value, that was a default value, was Kendriya Vidyalaya, will be overwritten by the new value called Navodaya Vidyalaya. Okay. So this is the concept of default argument. If you do not provide it, it will take the default value. If it is provided externally by the user, the default value will be overwritten and the new value provided by the user will be taken. Okay. The third point is the same. If the value of such arguments are deliberately provided, the default value gets overwritten by the provided values. The example will make it clear to you. The example is definition of a function called interest. This is a function for simple interest, in which we have three variables: principal amount, time and rate. What we have done is, we have put given a default value of 0.10 to the rate parameter. Okay, so the default value given to the rate parameter is 0.10 and it is being provided in function definition. When you call this function like we have called it with interest in brackets 5400, 2, what will happen? The 5400 value will be copied for principal amount, the value 2 will be copied for time, and as we have not provided any third value for rate, the rate will be taken as 0.10. Clear? But check the next example in which we have provided three values 6100, 3, 0.25. Then 6100 will be taken as principal amount, 3 will be taken as time, and now we have provided the value of rate. So the default value of 0.10 will be overwritten by the new value called 0.25. I think this example has made it clear to you how to use, where we should use this default argument. Okay, so the default argument is used when we want to provide some fixed values that can be changed, or if anything is not provided, that value should be taken. Okay, then in this function the value of rate has been set as 0.10. That means if you will not provide the value of rate, it will take 0.10. If you provide some extra value, it will not take 0.10, it will take the same value that you will provide. Okay, so sometimes you get come across some examples that use default argument. Okay, for example, we have a question like write a program using function to find the mean of to find the sum of 4 or less variables. Okay, now 4 or less means it can be 4, it can be 3, it can be 2, it can be 1. Then how you will make a program if you are not aware about the number of inputs? You have heard that the rule is that you should be clear about the inputs, then only you can write a program, and you are now saying that it can be 4 or less. So now here we use the concept of default argument. What we will do is we will provide one value as simple argument and other three as 0. What we will write is def sum in brackets a, b equal to 0, c equal to 0, d equal to 0. Simple. And in the body we will write return a plus b plus c plus d. What will be the logic? The logic is if you provide the value of if you provide 4 values, then the values of b, c and d will be replaced. If you provide 3 values, b and c will be replaced, d will be taken as 0. So anything added to 0 is the same number. And if you provide only one value, b, c, d will be taken as 0 and you will get the same number. So this is the use of default arguments. Okay, I think you are clear with this. The concept of default argument you must be clear because you have to use in your practical programs. Now, after seeing the example, we have seen the working of default argument. Now we have a caution. What is a caution? Non-default arguments cannot follow default argument. This is the rule. What is the meaning? That means all the default arguments should be at the rightmost of the argument list. It means that if you are using a default argument like this, it should be at the rightmost. It cannot be in the beginning and it cannot be in the middle. It must be at the rightmost. Okay, let us see it with the example. Example is if you use the command def interest. This is if you use this type of command def interest principal time equal to 2 rate. What will be the problem is if you are here, for example, in this type you are not providing the third value, and it means that the third value is for rate only. Okay, because the values will be copied as they are mentioned. 5400 will be copied in principal, 2 will be copied in time, and the third value if provided will be taken for rate. But in the question example, you are saying that principal comma time equal to 2 comma rate. You have set time as 2. But if you call this, if this call is made, then what will be the processing? 5400 will be taken as principal, time will be taken for 2, and rate will not be provided. And as rate is not having any default value, so it will generate error because you have not provided the sufficient values. Okay. So similarly, in the second definition, principal and time are being taken as default argument and the rate is being taken as simple argument. So what if the call is just simple call, interest in bracket 2. Your intention was that the 2 should be taken as rate, but that 2 will be taken as principal amount because the values are copied in order. The first value will be taken for principal, second for time, third for rate. That's why the default arguments must appear at the end of the rightmost end of the list, parameter list. Okay, because if they are in between or at the beginning, they will create problems. Okay, they will create errors. So default arguments are used in situations where some parameter always have the same value. Okay, when you want to fix a value for many of the cases, then it should be used as default argument. And default parameters provide greater flexibility to the programmers. We have seen in the example we discussed to find the sum of 4 or less numbers, 5 or less numbers. So these type of questions are dealt with the use of default arguments or default parameters. Okay, I think this is clear to you. Great. Now we have the third type, that is keyword or named argument. Here this is especially for Python. Many other languages do not have this type of argument, that is called named argument. Here what we can the named argument suggests is that we can name the argument and we can change its position. In the previous two types, we cannot change the position. If the principal amount is at the first position, it will remain as the first value will be taken as principal, second was being taken as time, and the third was being taken as rate. But in keyword or named argument, what we will do is we will write the name of variables in the function call, and through that we will change its position. Okay, so Python offers a way. Many other languages do not support it. Python offers a way of writing function calls where we can write any argument in any order, but we have to provide the name of that argument. Okay, this way of specifying name for the value being passed is called keyword or named argument. Okay, so these are the named arguments with assigned values being passed in the function called statement. Let us see some example. The first example is interest in bracket principal equal to 2000, time equal to 2, rate equal to 0.12. What we have done here is we have named each argument, but please keep in mind this name should match with the name mentioned in the function definition. Okay, it cannot mismatch. So principal equal to 2000, time 2, 0.12 as rate. So principal will be taken as 2000, time as 2, and rate will be taken as 0.12. That is okay. But in the second one, time has been put at the first position, principal at second, and rate at third. But as we have mentioned the name of the variable with the value, so the first value that we have written is time equal to 4. So the variable time will be set as 4. The variable principal will be set as 2600, and the variable rate will be set as 0.15. And the third example, you see, we have made rate the first argument, time the second, and principal the third. We can make it, but we must provide the name. That means we must make it clear to the Python interpreter that this variable is being provided. You can put it anywhere, but you should provide the name. In the previous example, what was being done is you were not providing any name, you were just changing the values, place of value. And the basic rule for Python is you provide the first value, I will copy it in the first place with the first parameter. You provide me second value, I will get it as the value for second parameter, and so on. But Python has provided you a tool that if you give a name to that argument and put the value, I will assign this value to the same argument, whether it is at the first position or at the last position. So here, in the third example, rate has been provided at the first argument. Now it will not be taken as principal amount, it will be taken as rate because we have mentioned the name rate here. Okay, so you mention the name of the variable and place it anywhere in the list. Python will accept it. Okay, so it is a functionality. It is an added advantage provided by the Python. So you should keep noting the advantages of Python that it provides to you than other languages. Okay, I think it is clear to you. Using keyword argument, we don't need to remember the order of arguments, but we must know their names. Here is some advantage, some disadvantage. You have to remember the variable names because you cannot change the names, but you should not remember the order. You should not be worried about whether principal was the first variable or the rate was the first variable. So you can name it and place it anywhere. Okay, so it is an added advantage given by the Python language. Now we have discussed all the three types and we are at the end, that is using multiple argument types together. Wow, that Python allows us to combine all these three. It's a great functionality of Python. Okay, but we have to follow some rules. Okay, so that the interpreter doesn't get confused. It should understand the values that you are providing. Okay, so Python allows us to combine multiple argument types in a function call. Rules must be kept in mind. Okay, what are the rules? An argument list must first contain positional argument followed by any keyword argument. That is the rule. What is the rule? If you are providing positional argument, means for which you are neither providing a default value or nor using a name, those variables must be at the first because they will be copied place by place. Okay, first value, first parameter, second value, second parameter. So this will be the pattern in positional argument. So all the positional arguments must be at the beginning followed by any keyword argument. Okay, keyword argument should be taken from the required arguments preferably. Okay, we cannot specify a value for an argument more than once. So if you have provided the value of a, then you cannot again provide the value of a with keyword argument. Okay, so it should be kept in mind. If a is the first parameter and you have provided its value using positional argument, so again you should not write a equal to some other value. Okay, so it will create ambiguity. And having positional arguments after keyword argument will result into error. This is a basic rule. You should not use positional arguments after keyword arguments. The positional arguments must be at the beginning of argument list. Okay, so this video was specially for these types of argument because these three were very important for a topic for you, for the exam purpose also and for your project purpose also. Okay, so here I wanted to focus only on these three so that the concept gets clear to you, because it creates a lot of confusion among the students later on. So I have created a special video for it so that we can only discuss these three that we have discussed: positional argument, then we have discussed default arguments, and at the end we have discussed keyword arguments. And the rule is positional arguments must be at the beginning. Okay, and keyword arguments must be with the same name that is used in the function definition. I hope that I am able to make these 3 points clear to you, and If there is any problem, you can write to me in the comment section. I will come back to you with the answer that will satisfy you. And I hope that you have gone through all those videos previously. Please go through the video at your according to your learning pace. You can go slow, you can be fast when you are just revising the concept. Anytime you have any query, you can ask me in the comment section, and we will meet in the next video.